everybody, welcome to another episode of the Zoommates Podcast. This is the podcast where we're just trying not to get canceled. I'm one of your hosts, Nick Eden, and to my side, I got my main man, 100 Grand, best friend for over 20 years. In the streets, they call him Cinco the Villain. The ladies call him the Philosopher Chocolates and Nestle Snipes. And next week, I promise I'm going to have a new nickname for him. It is D'Artagnan himself. What up, Felt Five?
What's going on, man? I'm telling you, man, it's it's another Sunday, man. We doing this. We being consistent. We up here for y'all. You know what I'm saying? And we excited, man. Like a lot of things have been going on. I'm gonna tell you, man. But first off, I got to start off, man. Like we didn't get to this last week, and I really don't like to make this show about this. And I hadn't even told Nick I was gonna bring it up, but man, like RIP to the king, man. Michael K. Williams, man. Like, I mean, phenomenal actor. Extraordinary talent. Omar from The Wire. He was also Tick's dad from Lovecraft Country and a whole host of other, beloved characters that we, grew to, really respect. And, he really made his characters three-dimensional. So, I'm saying RIP to Michael K. Williams, man. Like, another loss of a legend, man. Like, so, I mean, I mentioned it on my Instagram earlier this week. Not trying to start the show off on a down note, but I mean, I just would feel remiss if we didn't mention anything about that brother.
No. I agree.
Yeah.
I 100% agree. That brother was essential, I feel, to the culture. One, he gave us Omar, which
that is an iconic.
That's an iconic role. Yeah, absolutely. And then the fact that he was so multidimensional. I mean, we talk about a brother that, several times, and we can try to act like it doesn't happen, but let's be honest. In our community, sometimes we're not the most understanding when it comes to folks in the LGBTQIA plus community.
Absolutely.
And this was a guy who could play, multi-layered characters. While never losing his credibility amongst Black communities. So I appreciate it. I was very shocked to hear it. I'm tired of doing these, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's like
I
damn.
am too. I mean, but I just like I said, I would feel remiss. Like I wouldn't feel right if we just didn't give the brother some respect.
Oh no. That's not what I mean. I'm more so talking about from the standpoint of losing so many of these iconic folks in our community, man.
It's whack, man. This has been a whack time, man. Like it's been rough, but I mean, I tell you what, I don't want to have the whole show just be doom and gloom because there have been some great things happening. And my man Nick, he hit me up because I was listening to Aaliyah's Aaliyah album, self-titled album on Friday. And I was getting in my feelings, and I was singing. I was singing, one of the Aaliyah songs. I'm not gonna tell y'all which one, because it's a little embarrassing. It's at the top of my lungs, with tears damn near coming down my face, singing the song. And my man Nick was like, "Hold up, player. Before you get, I know you're gonna be listening to that Aaliyah all day, but before you get, too wrapped up in your feelings." You need to check this link out I sent you. And I knew it was coming out. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming out. And I said, I'm gonna wait till I get home to look at it before, because if I'm at work, my whole day is gonna be thrown off. And my whole day was thrown off. I was, I was looking at I looked at this video several times, and that day. I'm talking about none other than one Chloe Bailey.
Lord have mercy. No, that's the name of the song. I wasn't just saying that,
Yeah, that's actually the name of the song. Now you talk about being self-aware. Now you gotta, beyond the thirst levels, you have to appreciate Chloe's marketing and writing prowess here. She named the damn song "Have Mercy" because she knew that's what we would be saying. She knew that's what we would be saying. You know what I'm saying? Have mercy.
Yeah. Well, and see, that's the thing about it. This is the second time that she's broken the internet. I mean, you guys remember when the Busset Challenge came out?
Busset Challenge.
She completely she dominated that. And I will say, people give Soulja Boy, rightfully so, a lot of credit for how he was able to kind of innovate his marketing online at a time when nobody else was doing. I feel like Chloe did that a second way, right? Because those of us who watched Grownish, we knew about, Chloe and Halle. Those of us who listen to music, especially a lot of Beyonce fans, they knew about them as an R&B duo. Right. And they dropped a phenomenal album, but let's be honest, it was really slept on.
Very,
right. It went very much so. Yeah, it went very much so under the radar. Yeah. And so she was able to kind of use Instagram and TikTok to stand out. Here it was. You have a young lady who is of notoriety. She's on Grownish, which is a top-rated show. She's got the rub from Beyonce with Chloe and Halle, and then she's off and she's doing her own thing. So what made the thing so exciting was that, and it's a double entendre there. But what made it so exciting was she has been able to position herself to stand out, and in addition to that, she did a lot of her music. In like small spurts. So when Have Mercy first came out, nobody had heard the full song. She dropped the full song and video at the same time. It had already gone viral on TikTok, right?
Yeah, just the intro, just like
the intro.
Yeah,
and that's crazy. And I think that's probably one of the more innovative ways that we've seen song rollouts, especially in the midst of this kind of creator TikTok ban that was going on. And she made it hers. But by the time, so when the video came out, it came out at 12 Eastern on the 10th. By the time I saw the video, because I was on Instagram, I was doing my nightly content on my page, and I saw the clip, and she was like, "Oh, it's up now," and I'm in Central Time, so it's 11:38 around my time.
Yeah,
I went to see the video. The video had already had 3,500 views by the time I saw it. By the time the morning came, she was at like 2.4 million views. And like now she's sitting at like 6.8. It's just the weekend. Seven.
I watched this morning. It was 7 million views.
And then And then let's not BS about it, bro. Chloe Bailey is, in my opinion, she's the hottest chick in the game right now.
Yeah,
she's got the
phenomenal.
She got the talent. She definitely has the look. She's not afraid to explore her image and how she does sexually. Man, funny, man. This is like Viagra for niggas to watch. Like, this is not listen, this woman is fine. She's fine. And then she gets the creators, because if you are on her IG, if you're on TikTok, you see all the the songs that she works on. So, I mean, like, you can't deny the talent. You can't say she's all image.
Right.
Like, Felt and I just full transparency, Felt and I talk about the production that she does, the writing and the recording that she does, just as much as the visuals. The visuals are great, but what rounds it out and gives it that credibility, you see the talent there too.
Exactly.
Especially in a generation where even after all these years, it's only a handful of women that get real credit for producing.
Right.
So,
right.
I look, bro, she broke the internet again.
Shouts out to Chloe Bailey. I mean, she is really like killing the game right now in a major way. And I mean, even upon it took me about 10 to 20 times of watching this video to see it was a whole lot of Beyonce influence in that video, man. Like, I mean, it's almost like, I don't want to say the second coming of Beyonce. But if you look at the video, it's a lot of artistic similarity in that video. Now, like I said, it took me about 15 to 20 times of not and I see Nick looking at me crazy. It took me about 20 times of looking at it in another way to see that. But I finally saw it, and great job, Chloe.
Let me say this like Farrakhan would say it. Negro, please. You are not watching for artistic clarity or inspiration. You were watching that young sister, Chloe Bailey, for that ass. So let me say this.
Ain't no shame in my game. You're damn right. I mean, and
I didn't
anybody
even know. Let me tell you something. I didn't even notice that. Like, I don't give a fuck what nobody else. I didn't notice that it was other women in the video till about my fifth or sixth watch. I was
I
like,
didn't
wait,
either.
this is somebody else.
I remember you told me, you was like, yo, man, there's other chicks in the other dancers in the video, they bad too. And I was like, is other dancers in the video?
He legitimately said it.
Did I
was
not?
Like,
is other women in the video?
With that shit.
I ain't seen
him. Very sincere with that. Like,
if it is, I ain't seen it.
But no, it's a testament. I do see the Beyonce similarities. You cannot work with somebody and not pull. And I mean, if you're gonna pull, why not pull? Because when you pull from Beyonce,
why not pull from the best? That's the best in the game. You know what I'm saying?
See, when you pull from Beyonce, you're also pulling from Beyonce's inspiration. So you're pulling from Michael Jackson, you're pulling from Prince, you're pulling from Tina Turner, you're pulling from Diana Ross, you're pulling from Janet Jackson, you're pulling from Whitney and Mariah. You're pulling from a lot. And the thing is, what I appreciate about Chloe is she does pay homage to that. The Beyonce influence was definitely there. There is a similar setup in the story. Started with the group, stand out in the group, started doing things on her own. But one thing that you cannot say about Chloe Bailey is you cannot say that her rollout in this single and consequently what's going to happen, because make no mistake about it, Parkwood and Columbia Records had very little to do with how organically she rose on the internet.
For real.
And if they did, the implementation of it was still hers. The talent was still there. The vision was still there. Like, you know, so and so now obviously they're going to step in and they're going to do their thing. They're going to service the record, of course. They're going to do whatever advertising and marketing for the video that they need to do, of course, which I think at this point is a win-win situation because she's done so much of this on her own. She has the backing now. She has a cosign. And I promise you, ain't nobody at Columbia Records going to tell Beyonce, no, we're not doing this for your artist. Nobody.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you. Like, I remember a few months ago, because Nick knows I'm a big fan of the Ungodly Hour album. I'm a huge fan of the Chloe and Halle Ungodly Hour album. And but when Chloe stepped out on her own, like her Spotify like count, she only had like a couple of thousand. You know what I'm saying? Now Chloe and Halle had, you know, hundreds of thousands of monthly listens, but Chloe herself only had like a couple of thousand listens. This was probably about 6 months ago, maybe. And now, I mean, so the flip is for real. And I mean, dog, like she really, you know, she just turned it upside down, man. You know, I mean, from a marketing standpoint, just
wait, hold on.
What happened?
When you and I talked about that Friday, I checked. She had like on Friday, she had 64,000. Real time right now, she has 718,791.
Good God, bro. Good. Man, she next, man.
Her top two, Feeling Good, well, Have Mercy and then Feeling Good. Feeling Good has 590,885. Have Mercy has 2.4, 31,311. This is over the weekend, bro.
Yeah. Because I'm telling you, like she had good music up on her page already.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm on her page. But I'm so happy that she's getting, you know, the shine that she deserves, man. And I hope, you know, this will continue, you know, everybody, and she can, you know, transform into not having to, you know, make everything a spectacle. You know what I mean? I like that she's pulling from Beyonce, but honestly, I would want her artistic vision to carry out in a different direction than Beyonce's. Like, I mean, you know, music wise. So I mean, like I'm happy for her, but I just hope that, you know, that she continues to be as authentically, you know, her as she is, because I mean, honestly, I love her music, you know, in a way, and it resonates with me in a way that some of the Queen Bee's music doesn't resonate with me. You know what I mean? Like, now I love Beyonce, don't get it twisted. But, you know, I'm just saying on a music level. But anyway, I'm talking too much because
No.
I don't want the hive coming from me, because you know that they don't care. They don't care. But
and neither do I.
Yeah. So anyway,
when I tell you I don't care, I do not care.
Yeah. So
no, but yeah, shout out to Chloe. I feel like as long as she keeps doing what she's doing, she'll be just fine. And shout out to the folks that are out there that are actually paying attention, because there were some folks that were just like, I hope that she has more music than this. Well, you're not listening. I even said in one.
You're not listening. Yeah,
I even said in one of the groups, I'm like, if you subscribe to her social media, you would know that she has plenty of music out there. And this is the reason why her fans are so secure. Well, that seems like common sense. Obviously, I'm subscribed. Obviously not if you're questioning if she has other music.
Right.
So for the people who just want to be contrarians to be contrary, fuck you.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. I'm sick of that. This is a talented young lady. Extremely talented. Fuck you. Yeah. If you don't take the time, if you want to judge this off of one single, and she's been putting out music for years at this point, then you're just being an asshole to be an asshole. And I don't have respect for anybody like that calls themselves a real music fan, and they will still go and say and do some problematic bullshit like that. Because you're doing it for clout, you're doing it for likes and shares.
Mm-hmm. Trying to be snarky.
I'm sick of that. This elitist mindset of that only folks from this era made good music. It's bullshit. We have, our generation considers the music that was made late 80s, 90s, maybe early to mid 2000s is some of the greatest music of all time. And I can remember interviews, like I remember this interview was in like 1983 with Otis Williams, where in 1983, think about people we had in the 80s. We had Anita Baker, we had Luther Vandross, we had Whitney Houston, we had all these people, right? And in this interview, in like 83, 84, Otis Williams is like, because we're trying to make a comeback, because what I'm hearing out there right now, I'm not hearing real music anymore. This is the 80s we talking about, bro.
80s, dog. It always happens. I mean, it
always happens. So
it just morphs into everything. And I mean, it's funny because only the people who are really in tune with music understand that. Like, probably about 10 years ago, I had to even check myself, because I was on that, oh man, real hip hop and blah blah blah. This Nick will tell you, I was on that, on that stuff, man. But like, then I just had to get to the point where I was like, man, you know what? We always needed music, different types of music for different scenarios. You know what I'm saying? When I was coming up, we had like Kilo Ali and Raheem the Dream and like JT Money. Those were party anthems, party records. You know what I'm saying? Like, but then we also had Tribe. We also had
Arrested
Development. You know what I mean? Like, we had X-Clan and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So like, everybody has their space. I think the problem that what bothered me, about the recent years, is that the balance was missing. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? I used to think the same thing, and the argument could be made for the balance in the mainstream.
Yeah, definitely.
But if you think about it, when we were kids, we only had two outlets to music, and that was radio and TV, right? Yeah. And then obviously, you tape traded with folks. Oh, let me get that about you. I want to record it. Oh, what's this new thing? Let me hear this. I'll give you this one. Now there are so many outlets, whether it's terrestrial radio, whether it's XM radio, whether it's a Spotify playlist. Because here's the thing. If you can find a curated Spotify playlist that caters to the type of music that you like, you have no problem not only listening to the music that you love from yesterday, but discovering new music today.
Discovering new music, yeah.
One of the best things that happened to me musically was the year 2007 for a couple of reasons. Remember, that was the year I recorded Take Control.
Yeah.
That was also the year where I said, you know what? Nick Eden is going to record the type of records that Nick Eden wants to record. I'm not trying to get a deal. I'm not trying to get something that, you notice from 2006, think about it from this way, Phil, because you were involved, and anybody who does not know, Felt has been involved in every project I've ever put out.
Yeah.
And if I ever put out another project, it won't be complete unless he's involved. So he's seen my musical evolution. From Grinding, which was in 2006, to Take
Which
Control.
I produced, by the way.
Which he produced. But from Grinding in 2006 to Take Control in 2007. Complete 180, right? But I was doing music that I enjoyed and I liked. The second part about that year that was so phenomenal to me is because I was finally out of that realm that I just was not comfortable in anymore.
Yeah.
I was also able to surround myself as a fan and as colleagues with other artists that it was like, man, I felt like I was discovering new music every day. So PJ Morton, Raheem Devon, Anthony David, Eric Roberson, Chocolate, Cy Smith, the list goes on and on. Angela Johnson, like it was so much that I was exposed to, and I felt like a new fan because at that point, you're talking Eric Roberson, for instance. He put out Left in 2007. Eric Roberson had been putting out albums since 2000, so I had the opportunity to go back and listen to Esoteric all the way up to Left. Same thing with PJ Morton, all the way back from Freestyle Nation all the way up to Emotions. So I felt invigorated as a fan, and I was like, I don't know what y'all talking about. I discover great new music every day. It's not going to be served up on a silver platter for you like it was in the 90s, and the 80s, the 70s, and the 60s, and that's fine. But let's not also forget that in the 60s and the 50s, late 50s, early 60s, Black folks did not consider Motown the sound of Black folks. It was not considered classic records. They were pop records. People like Etta James could not stand Motown because it was it's so poppy. It's so because he was trying to cross over with those records. We look at those records as classic R&B records.
Right. Right, for real though.
Black folks at the time was like, these are some pop records that aren't, this ain't real music, right? Mm-hmm. So you got to let each generation have their stars and have their sound. Whether we agree with it or not, we're not the decision makers on that. What we can do is we can embrace the music that we grew up listening to, and then we can try to sift through and find music that we can discover. And I would dare say, exactly. Yeah. I would dare say that if you actually took the time to look, you could probably find music that aligns with you ideologically and is great sounding to your ears, no matter what genre you're in.
And it's not more than a year or 2 years old either.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? At the most 5 years old. Like I mean, as much trash as I talk about the 2000s era, like the 2000s era has some classic R&B and hip hop. It's the same thing with the 2010s era. I mean, there's a lot there to uncover. Now, what terrestrial radio has fed, the masses is not that. You know what I mean? And that's what I mean when I say balance. I'm talking about that. But everybody has a smartphone now. It's not like it was even in 2010. Everybody, didn't have a smartphone back in those days. But shit, now we all got smartphones, man. So we all got YouTube. YouTube is free. You might have to look at some ads, but you all got YouTube. So
I got premium.
Yeah, hey, look, premium is worth it. And I actually have Spotify premium. Like, I love my Spotify premium, you know what I'm saying? So, like, which is also worth it to me. It's damn near like a utility bill. Like, it's not it's not an entertainment cost for me. It's a utility because I love music that much. But
look at you.
You the one with YouTube premium, my boy.
Hey man, I get sick of them ads. They get real disrespectful with their ads, man. It used to be just one ad and it'd be like, okay, cool. Now if you don't click skip, them motherfuckers just play another ad. Like, oh fuck it, you ain't paying attention, let me get you. So
they will get you, dog.
Again,
speaking of people who trying to get folks, well, go ahead with your point.
No.
I
was gonna say, go ahead. I was gonna say shout out to Chloe again, but go ahead. I'm watching the video on mute right now.
Here you go. This boy here. But speaking of people who trying to get folks like YouTube with these skip ads, shout out to YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. You know what I'm saying?
Click the bell for notifications so that you know when we come with a new episode of Zoommates Podcast.
You will know. And but like I said, speaking of people who trying to get folks, I've been trying to do the segue for a minute, and I'm just trying to figure out how I'm gonna do it. Texas, out here trying to get folks, man. Like citizen reporting, and what are y'all doing, Texas? I mean, what is it? SB 8? Is that
Texas
the name of it?
is the new Florida.
Oh my God, bro! Like, yo, we from Alabama and Mississippi. We never thought that a day would come where we'd be like, "Thank God I'm not in Texas and I'm in Alabama,"
Listen,
because y'all are tripping down there, dog. Like,
let me say this.
y'all tripping.
And yes, it is SBA, by the way. When it comes to, because I just want to make sure that this is clear, my standpoint on this. I felt you don't have to speak to this. This is just me doing it.
Okay.
When it comes to myself, I am pro-choice.
As am I.
I don't believe that we have a right to tell a woman what to do with her body. Now there are some caveats to this stuff, because I also believe that just like we don't have a right to tell a woman what to do with her body, it was two people that made that child. So I do think, depending on the circumstances, that there should be some consideration for the father of the child. But when it comes to ultimately deciding whether or not this person can abort the fetus, and I say fetus and not baby for a reason, this is a conversation that government needs to stay out of.
Absolutely.
In my personal opinion, if I lay down and make the baby, I would like a choice for me. But I do not have the right to impart my choices on anybody else out there. You know, my philosophy is real simple. If I'm not doing one of the 3 F's, it ain't my business. If I'm not feeding, fucking, or financing you, it is not my business.
Yeah. Yeah.
That being said, this Texas abortion law is a result of a couple things. It is the result of white flight. I'll get to that in a second. It is the result of the changing demographics of America.
The census.
And it is a result of the backlash of the Me Too movement.
Now, you're going to have to explain that one to me.
Let me make my points. White flight. What you've seen a ton of is you've seen a ton of folks, this mass exodus of California, and a lot of them folks are landing in Texas.
This is very true.
They do not like the idea of a historically troubled state when it comes to elections having an influx of so many liberal voters, so many left-leaning voters.
Yep.
So it's like, let's go ahead. If we're going to get this shit through, we're going to get it now. 2 major legislations came through in Texas in the last 6 months. Well, really in the last 3 months. One of them has been in the works for over 6 months. The first is constitutional carry, which I'm a fan of. You know, Mississippi is constitutional carry. I do believe that there shouldn't be any restrictions on that. So that's just me. I'm a two-way guy. Always have been. Always will.
I differ a tad on that one, but I get you.
I mean, we can talk about it. But that and then the abortion ban. And they knew that by the next election, there were going to be enough left-leaning voters that came in from California. Because you also got to think, in southern states, California is like the major Republican talking point. Oh, they got money coming in from California. Oh, he talks to these people out in California. Oh, this and oh, that. And, you know, so you have that. So it's the white flight of it. Then you got the change in demographics. The last census, the fact that Texas is a major border for Mexico, has a huge population of Latinx folks, both documented and undocumented.
Yeah, I've lived there. I've seen it.
And quite frankly, any numbers will show you that by 2043, it's projected that America will be a majority minority country. There will not be one. No one will have the numeric majority from a race standpoint. And so this is this is something that they've been talking about for a long time. And this is something that, I'm not being funny when I say this, we're talking genetics here. One thing I don't do is I don't argue science. The science is showing us the actual valid facts about it. The actual valid facts about it show that, white genes are recessive genes. It's just the truth, That doesn't mean that you're a weaker person or anything like that, but this is an actual fact. If take black folks out of it. If an Asian man and a white woman lay down, that baby's going to come out Asian. And because America was the one who instituted the one drop rule anyway, now you have to deal with the ramifications of it.
Now you have to deal with the chickens are coming home to roost, as they say.
Exactly. Yeah. So the third part, I do think this is in a direct contrast to the Me Too movement. And here's the reason that I say that. I've often said that there was selective outrage from some of the more prominent figureheads of the Me Too movement. The vitriol that was put on somebody like Bill Cosby, who was a trash ass and is a trash ass human being, won't deny that. That same level of vitriol wasn't placed on some of his white counterparts. It took an act of God to get Epstein convicted. This man has been openly doing this for years and connected to a lot of people in entertainment and politics, both left and right leaning. It took an act of God before it was finally set into motion. Even now, Giselle, the woman who aided him in all this time, there's been largely no coverage of what's going on with her. There has been, I said this earlier, Harvey Weinstein silently went to jail last year. They made a spectacle out of Bill Cosby. And let's not forget that Donald Trump has more accusations than all these motherfuckers. And I said, what's going to end up happening is y'all are going to incur, because let's be honest, the Me Too movement was largely hijacked by white women. And it became about the celebrity. And I said, what you're leaving out is you're leaving out the young black, brown, white girl that works third shift at the Jacksonville Waffle House that doesn't have 1 million Twitter followers, and who her toothless boss is coming in fucking with her every day, and she can't scream out to her. But y'all made it about all the women in Hollywood, particularly a lot of white women, because there was that much coverage on Lupita and what she went through.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I said, what y'all are gonna do is y'all are gonna incur the full wrath of white men, which is something that, yes, white women, there were some oppressive measures and laws and everything that affected them for years, but felt you and I both know they never incurred the full wrath of white men. And those communities who have, they know, okay, you keep doing it, they're going to attack you in a way that's going to completely derail the shit that you've been doing. And
it's the reason that we got Trump as president. I mean, that was.
But see, even white women were complicit in that. Let's never let them forget that 53% of white women voted for Donald Trump.
I'm just saying, I feel like I don't even feel like this is just a white man thing. I feel like white people in general, once they feel offended by something, the wave is coming back in an exponential form. So it's the reason I'm saying that this is a microcosm of the reason that we got a Donald Trump in office. So now we're having Texas SB 8, which is also going to influence some other states to try to go at Roe v. Wade, for those who don't know. And it's just going to be a mess, man. It's going to be a big mess.
So, and here's the thing, when you present the chinks in the armor of it, and it's funny, I had a conversation with somebody that actually brought up some stuff about Roe v. Wade that I actually had to go and look up and verify. And we can talk about it at a different time. But when you have something that's a figurehead that can have chinks in its armor, there are chinks in the armor of Roe v. Wade. There are chinks in the armor of Planned Parenthood. And so I do think that it's important to not stand on the hill of just this one particular thing. It's not just about Roe v. Wade. This is about legitimately the same people who said the government cannot take control over my body by making me get a vaccine or wear a mask, can take over control of my body to have a baby that I don't want to have.
The hypocrisy. The hypocrisy.
of
And
it.
these are also the same people who are always screaming small government deregulation and all this type of bullshit. But then you're okay with this type of government overstep. Like make it make sense, as they say. It doesn't make sense.
Golden Corral citizens. You get what you want out of it, and you discard the rest. And that's been America for years and years.
Yeah.
It just has been. It's funny you should say that, and I know, boy, I'm probably gonna catch it for this. But I was watching.
We're about to get canceled. The views of Nick Eden.
You know what? And here's the reason I don't give a fuck, because I watched I watched both shows. I watched. It came up in my feed this morning when Louis Farrakhan was on Phil Donahue for the first time in 1985, and then again in 1990. And it's so funny to hear that the same shit that we're arguing about today, they were trying to argue him about in the 90s, right? You know, and in the 80s. And what made it even funnier was there was this one white woman in particular who is of Karen age now.
Mm-hmm.
She used the same old trope. Some of my best friends are black. And the things he says make me fearful. Legitimately, all a man said was, black people have got to be self-sustained. Black people have got to tend to themselves, and then we can work together with white people. Like, bruh, and they're just like, he speaks of violence. And I'm like, I mean, these are the people.
At the same, when it is about the messenger in that case, because I mean, Farrakhan has said some, anti, Semitic.
Let me explain something to you. Let me tell you something. And this is not something I want to breach on this show. I don't agree with that. And here's the reason why. I watched a bunch of people on this show that are at Trump voting age now sit there and say how much they don't like Farrakhan's rhetoric. And these are the same people 30 years later saying, I don't care about Trump's rhetoric. I don't care what he said. It's what he does. So it's a bullshit argument, because most of the folks had no idea what was going on in Palestine at the time, and with the Palestinians, or what was going on with the Israelites. They have no idea. What they knew was, here was a black man up here, because most of them said, even when they got on the microphone, this is the first time that they're ever hearing either about Louis Farrakhan or the things that he was saying. And what they perceived as violence was the stuff by him saying black people should be self-sustained. So I fundamentally disagree with that. I fundamentally disagree with everybody and their bullshit, convenient, free speech rhetoric. Yeah. What I'm saying is very clear. We've had the same argument for years and years. And what has been consistent is that the people in power are very convenient about who it is that they actually want to target doing these things. And that's what's happening in Texas right now. That's why we have heartbeat bills in Alabama and Mississippi. That is why these things continue to come up. That's why these things will continue to come up until we get, because the same people that instituted the war on drugs, the same people that instituted the war on poverty, some of those same folks are in Congress to this day.
Yep, a whole bunch of misplaced warfare
on a state and federal level. The reason that we have where we had medical marijuana passed in Mississippi at 68%, the reason that it was repealed was because of a Republican mayor, and I forget that it's this extra rich county in Mississippi who found a loophole to sue. She's been the mayor of that city since 1982. Wow. You got the same people fucking with that. This is something that ain't too much that people across the board are going to agree to in Mississippi. Let's call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
68% of folks said medical marijuana should be legal in the state of Mississippi. And one woman who's been in power since the 80s was able to go to court and turn it over. That is the problem that we're dealing with now.
That's disgusting.
See, you remember your boy Trump was talking about term limits. when he was
That
first
ain't my
running.
boy.
I'm talking to the folks that might be watching this and aligning with him.
That ain't my boy at all. I just make that clear. I hate
But
that motherfucker.
Donald Trump was talking about term limits when he first ran. That's how he got a lot of independence on his side.
Mm-hmm.
Gets in office, you don't hear shit else about term limits.
Yeah.
Because that affects Mitch McConnell.
Debate and switch.
That affects Greg Abbott. That affects what's the boy, the ultimate cuck in Texas, Ted Cruz.
Yeah, Cruz, yeah.
When you got the same people in power that were in, you got some people in power that were in power when Jim Crow was an actual legal thing. You think that just changed their minds? You think they all of a sudden became good people? And they've watched the demographics. They've watched the demographics of Texas change fundamentally over the last 40 years. Do you think this was not something that they were waiting to do? Bro, I'm telling you. And for you hotep ass niggas out there, let me go ahead and say this now. Shut the fuck up and vote. Because this is not something that Biden did.
See, brother, this is why I don't vote, because it doesn't make a difference.
It's bullshit. Because this ain't something you can blame on Biden. Hell, this ain't something you can blame on Trump. This was the state government. So how many years have I been saying that your local and state government?
You can't put some of the blame on Trump because he is the one who installed them judges. You know what I'm saying?
Phil, I'm gonna bring up a book next week. And this guy actually worked for like 4 presidents as an advisor. He talked about he said the white race is diminishing. This book was written in 1987. He said the white race is diminishing worldwide. Yeah. There are a couple of things that we can do to that we do to conserve this. One, you start paying white women to keep their babies. But the problem is, if you do that, you're also going to have to pay the black women, and we can't do that.
Yeah.
The second thing is outlawing abortion. This was in 1987. This is why I say this ain't even something that you can put on Trump. We can talk about the judges all day, but this ain't even something you can put on Trump. This has been in play.
Just a symptom. Yeah.
This is a symptom to the cause. This has been in play for as long since before we were politically engaged.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? So my thing is, I've been saying for years, probably as long as you know me, that your local and state elections are more, just as, if not more important than your federal elections. And this is a primary example of it. So all you hotep niggas out there, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Because when you in child support court, I don't care how much incense you got.
How much sovereignty that you feel that you have.
Right. I don't care how many RBG flags you got. They still gonna subpoena your government ass name.
This is una sanctum.
Okay.
This is una sanctum. This is not a country, Nick. This is una sanctum.
And the motherfucker gonna say this is court in session.
What is your social? I do not have a social security number because I am a sovereign citizen of my own more nation. So what you got to say, Judge? Go to jail.
Guilty. You got back child support for this amount. You gonna do this? I'm telling you, I better look. But I even in all that, I say all that to say, like, particularly if you got a dick and you're in government, stay the fuck out of this.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? This whole thing is disgusting. And I mean, you know, I joke about the whole Texas, Alabama, you know, me being glad I'm in Alabama thing, but you know, we're not too far behind as far as that goes. You know, Texas is just the one that had the, I hate to say had the balls to pass this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like
not the balls, but the unmitigated gall.
Yeah,
the caucasity.
Yeah, the caucasity. The caucasity to pass this bullshit. You know, it's utterly disgusting. It's ridiculous. You should not, you know, a woman. I'm very I'm pro-choice because I mean, you motherfuckers always want to stand out in front of abortion clinics with your little signs and all that shit. But when the baby get here, it's personal. It's time for personal responsibility and all that shit. Well, I mean, okay, like who gonna take care of these kids if the woman is making $10 an hour? You know what I'm saying? Like we act like people aren't human.
She got to pull herself up by her bootstraps,
bro. We act like motherfuckers aren't human. Like just because a person is a poorly paid worker or something, that they should not be allowed to have, some type of gratification for their life. You know what I'm saying? Like sex is like a gratifying thing. And I mean, it's not just about like sex. Some of this stuff, this bill doesn't have any type of clauses to account for incest or rape or any of that. You know what I mean? And I mean, I'm pro-choice beyond the incest and rape thing as well. But I mean, but especially to have the unmitigated gall and the caucasity to not even consider those two very serious, real things that happen in communities. That's disgusting, Texas. Like, shame on you. You know what I mean? Like, fucking shame on you, dog. Like, I don't got nothing else to say about it, man. Like, yeah. You know what? As a matter of fact, I think at this point, man, like that shit just brought the show down, man. Like, but we had to talk about it because fuck y'all. And, we got to know about it. But on the better things.
On the better things, man.
On the bigger and better things. Man. Make mine a Marvel. Okay. Shout out to D-Palm from the MCR Network. I didn't come up with that one. I'm just borrowing what the man says. Make mine a Marvel, dog. Yo. Put me on the Marvel payment plan, okay?
Yeah.
Just charge me $15 a month, and just give me my tickets because I'm going to see the movie, okay? This damn Shang Chi, and also the What If. Look here. Let me tell you something.
Wait, hold on. The reason I want to start with What If is because we talked about What If week before last. And shout out to our guest last week, Val Fan.
Oh, shout out, man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Great show. Great show. That's definitely a show that I just looking at the numbers, I knew was not going to be a huge show, but I think that's going to be one of those shows that stands the test of time.
Yeah. Later on, that's going to be one of those ones that come from behind and
just kills it.
He kills it.
And we can't wait to have him back.
When this crypto jump, y'all going to see, and then y'all going to go back to, they were talking about that.
Yeah. But we talked about What If the week before last. And let me say this. Fuck Hank Pym. I'm so sick.
I'm sick of that nigga, man.
Bruh, he is destroying other Marvel universes. He just, I don't see any redeeming qualities about this dude.
Bruh, him and motherfucking Doctor Strange need to go sit the fuck down somewhere. But Hank Pym especially. Like,
Hank Pym especially.
He the one, he the patient zero for this shit. You ain't have to go into the motherfucking subatomic universe. Your wife been dead 30 motherfucking years. You can't find your new bitch? Huh? You can't find your new bitch. Let me tell you something, bro. I'm sorry. But if your wife been gone for 30 goddamn years, move on, nigga. Okay, look, it's 7 billion people in the fucking world.
I hope if I get kidnapped, Felton is not the person to come and get me.
No, nigga, like, I mean, bro, like, look, man, if it's been 30 years, I mean, like, if I can't find out what happened to you, look, this is one of the things where I just have to give it to God, let go and let God, because I obviously ain't got the tools to go find you, but this nigga, in his caucasity, had to find a way to get his ass to the subatomic damn universe, find his wife in this infinite space where nothing else is.
And then she turn around looking like Bride of Chucky.
Right. You don't know what the fuck down there, but you gonna take her fucking mask off. Oh my God, I'm so glad I found you. Ah, bitch, why you biting me? And
so here's the other part.
And then
bring that shit back.
Motherfuckers brought y'all asses from the subatomic universe back up into the real world to ruin you ruined the entire world. You took something so beautiful and so motherfucking pure. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Spoiler warning, because I mean we've already done it anyway. You took something so beautiful, so pure, and so great as the fucking Avengers, something that I enjoy, and then you spliced it with goddamn Walking Dead. I go to Walking Dead when I feel like being depressed. Okay, I don't want to see that shit in my Marvel universe, thing. And I understand, it's a thing. How the fuck do these niggas still know their powers when they dead? I don't like the shit. I don't like it.
First, they didn't splice it.
It feels like they spliced the shit with AMC's The Walking Dead. No offense, AMC, but I don't need you in my motherfucking Marvel, dog. Like, I want my Marvel clean. I want it bright. I want it sunny. I want Thanos trying to, like snap your fingers and make niggas disappear. Don't eat niggas. What the fuck? I don't need this. I don't need this. I don't need it. I don't like it.
Phil?
I don't like it. I don't like this shit, man.
This actually happened.
I don't like this shit.
Listen to me.
I know it happened. I read the comic when I was a kid. I ain't like the shit then. I ain't like it. I ain't like the shit then.
But that was years before Walking Dead came out.
No, it was even worse back then because you had fucking Wolverine and the X-Men involved in this shit too. Imagine if they was in the what if. Yeah, the whole thing. I don't like it. Okay.
Let me say this much.
Don't like it.
Let me say this much.
These niggas still had powers and they was dead. How the fuck?
Let me say this much. I think that the reason that Phil did not like it is simply because Wanda was feeding on T'Challa.
I don't like it. I don't like
it. Phil's blackness would not allow him. But let me say, that is not specific
to Marvel. A white woman feeding on a black king is the allegory.
Phil, it's not new.
Going in life.
It's not new.
I know it's real.
This has happened before.
I know, man.
At least all she took was the foot. This nigga arm is gone. He had to tie a stick to this nigga. I'm just saying, bro.
Was it Wanda in the comic? It wasn't Wanda in the comic.
It wasn't Wanda in the comic.
It was like Sabretooth or some shit.
But let me say this much.
Okay. I didn't like it.
How many times is Marvel going to kill Vision? What did this nigga do? Who did he piss off? They treat him like the printer at work that never works. They have ripped this nigga's head apart 5 fucking times.
At least this time, he did it himself.
Oh, okay. So we go from so let me get this straight. We go from
Suicide Vision.
No. Let's put it to this standpoint. We go from his woman killing him to being brought back, and then the villain snatching it out his forehead. So that's twice in one movie.
Yeah, that was.
Then the wife resurrects him, or in at least the energy that she had from the Mind Stone.
Yeah, that wasn't really.
It came from the Mind Stone, but I mean, still, it's a character in there.
Yeah.
And when he leaves, when he tries to leave the town, he starts to disintegrate. Then, after she realizes what she's done, they kiss, reconcile. This nigga disintegrates again at the end of WandaVision, only to be brought back in What If, and now he's suicidal. So out of the 5 times that he's died, 4 of them have been directly or indirectly as a result of his woman.
Well, I mean, he's just another whip. He's another whip ass dude.
Let me tell you something.
What did Janet Van Dyne have in her vagina? Okay, because
what does Wanda have in hers?
Well, Wanda
got to have them yams. No, because
this conversation
do all this shit.
Very left. I apologize if you got kids listening, but we grown men, so we gonna talk about this.
If you got kids listening to this shit, then you have not been watching for the past 15 episodes.
Dog, what? Okay, so apparently Hank Pym had the loving of his lifetime. So he had to go get them cakes out of the subatomic universe. And also Vision, is killing other Avengers in the name of love. What does Wanda have? And I mean, this nigga's an android. He's supposed to be logical. This is not logical. What? Why is he doing this?
In the history of Marvel, think about this. In the history of Marvel, T'Challa almost chose Storm over the Kingdom of Wakanda. Cyclops.
Well, that's Storm.
Hold on, wait. Hold on. No. But this is what I'm trying to get you to see. Cyclops saw the threat that the Phoenix was and still was like, nah, I gotta save Jean. Vision and Wanda. Let's not forget that in the comics, the reason that Thanos was going for the Infinity Stones was to impress Death because he was in love with her. It seems to me, and I'm gonna go a little off the rails here.
Whole bunch of simps in the Marvel Universe.
Either that or every woman in the Marvel Universe has that thigh except for Black Widow, because Hulk left her on Earth to go to.
Ooh, hot take. Dang. Sorry, Joe.
Gambit knew if Rogue touched him, this nigga was gonna die. He was still like, let's see how long we can rock this shit. Like it's got, bro. I'm telling you. It's got to be something about the women in Marvel that just makes these motherfuckers say, "Yo, this is worth it."
I mean, you see how they drawn. I mean, if they feel like how they're drawn,
like they got to Miami.
Dog, if they feel, and this is purely just we off the rails here. If they feel like how they're drawn, I ain't mad at nobody. I'm not mad at. I ain't even mad at Thanos. Like, I mean, look, I've seen how Rogue was. Look, go back and
watch the X-Men.
Go back. I mean, look at the comic, of course, but go back and look at that damn X-Men cartoon. Look at Rogue walking around. Look at Storm walking around. Look at any of them walking around, except maybe Jubilee because she's a child. But look at all of the rest of them walking around, and you wouldn't understand the level of simpry. the level of simping that's going on there, because I mean,
listen,
these are just goddesses walking around, in leather costumes. I don't know what to tell you.
So let me say this, just to kind of put a cap on what if, because I want to get into this Shang Chi. One of the biggest twists that I've seen in this entire series is them niggas flying to Wakanda and seeing a zombie Thanos with 5 of the 6 Infinity Stones.
I don't like it. I ain't like it at all.
Let's think of it this way. This can go one or two ways. That Thanos, because they still have function of their brains and control their powers.
I don't understand how that's a thing. They zombies.
It's in the comics.
I get it.
It's very clearly explained in the comics.
Okay,
I would challenge you to go back and read the comics.
No. We on this show, like we got listeners who not going to do that.
Okay.
How does this work, man? Tell me, because I ain't read this since I was a kid, so I forgot.
The virus that turned them into zombies is a virus that only affects a certain part of the brain. So what it does is essentially the virus, you still have all of your motor functions and you still have the cognitive brain operations if you are powered. That's why the Avengers, once the Avengers became zombies, it was just that quick before they did it. You just cannot control your thirst or your hunger.
Yeah.
That's the thing about it. Think about the scene where Happy got turned into a zombie, right?
Yeah.
Remember, he was still coming out going bam, 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 bam. Yeah. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You cannot control your hunger. It's like a crackhead. Let's put it this. Okay, this is crazy.
But they still can't talk. They can't talk or communicate or anything like that.
No. But that's what I've said. Think about it. some of them it seems like they just didn't choose to. Because the moment Happy became a zombie, he was still coming out because you remember he had Tony's Iron Man. He was still coming out saying bam, bam, but he was still in the same shit as before.
Yeah.
Right? But the hunger, it's just that hunger. It's like a crackhead. Like, I ain't being funny. Your brain is a little warped, but they can still walk, they can still communicate, they can still try to finesse you out of something, but they finna go get that crack.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? It's just, you couldn't, which is why the Mind Stone, an activated Mind Stone, kept them at bay. Because their mind isn't completely zombified.
Right.
Now, there were some plot holes in there, like how they had their base of operations and Peter had put the webs up all. I'm like, yeah, well, what about Cap with the shield? Or what about Hawk, Falcon? He could just fly up there. But fundamentally, the reason that they could still use their powers was because, for the most part, they were, and it's what made it reversible. And that was in like Earth 2149, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think the thing is with Thanos, if Thanos still has his mind, does he
still evil? Yeah.
Well, but here's the thing. Because now, with everyone being zombies, their resources are even more finite. So does he snap half the population back to human so that the zombies have more to eat? Does he snap? Do you get what? Does he snap everybody back? Because his in his core mind, the mission is still the same. There aren't enough finances. I mean, there aren't enough resources, right? So that would be interesting, and that's why a lot of people online have been saying they may do a zombies Marvel What If 2, which I'd be interested to see, because that's one of those twists that you got to see at the end. Because I'm sorry, that Thanos of zombie Thanos with that glove was frightening as fuck, and they are legitimately flying the. Because then it also leaves out, that means he went to there's a possibility that Thor isn't
they didn't show him
a zombie.
Man.
They didn't show him.
Like that was purposeful. Yeah.
They also didn't show Groot. They didn't show Rocket.
Yeah.
I would think it would be safe to say that, maybe Nebula and Quill and others are zombies now, but because Thanos interacted with all of them. Think about it like this.
Yeah.
Thanos only went back to Saturn. Titan. Titan was the moon of Saturn. He only went back to Titan because that's where he and Ma were supposed to meet with the time stone.
Yeah.
So if he got back to Titan and all you see is Quill there, and it will Quill, Drax and the rest of the Guardians there, then it's safe to say him not seeing Maul there, if he wasn't already a zombie, he probably made him a zombie and then went to Earth because Maul died on Earth. Yeah. Because he still had to get the final stone. Yeah. So it's oh, you know what? Now that I think about it,
Maul died up there like when Banner was trying to get Hulk to come out when he came out of the Doctor Strange's building.
That's what I'm saying. Maul died then.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange came back through the portal with Stark, and but Thanos already had the time stone. So at some point, maybe he was the one that turned Strange. Because he had the time stone in Wakanda. All he was missing was the Mind Stone. Yeah. So it's a chance that Thor may still be out there with Stormbreaker that could kill Thanos.
Mm-hmm.
There's a chance that Hulk is still alive. Because remember, they tried to bite his arm and they couldn't bite his arm. So there's a chance he might have legitimately just fucked Wanda up.
Yeah.
So
I don't understand how Thanos. I don't understand how they could bite Thanos, but they couldn't bite the Hulk. I don't know. That's a kind of a.
But those things like that might make you say that there is a case for a part 2. Anyway, y'all check out Marvel's What If. It gives a lot of great implications. I do think that the Doctor Strange episode is directly tied to Spider-Man No Way Home. That's just my opinion. We'll find out in about 3 months. 3 months from today, actually, I think. 3 months and 5 days from today, we'll find out.
That trailer, man.
Yeah, but Marvel is on fire.
Man, Marvel does not miss, man. Like, they like Steph Curry, man. Like, they don't miss.
You saw Iron Man 3? Marvel misses.
Well, okay, you say that, but Marvel 3 was still, like, integral to, like, some of the bigger plots. So, They don't. If they miss, then the miss is gonna come back for something even better. Like they don't have huge misses like DC, but because DC be throwing up bricks, man. Like DC be out here like J.R. Smith. But anyway, man, like
Damn.
No disrespect, Henny God. Love you, bro. But
clearly that was very disrespectful.
You be missing. You be missing. You and Shumpert. But at least you got Tiana Taylor though.
Let me say this.
There.
What was not a miss was Shang Chi.
Yes.
Dear Phil, I gotta get spoiler alert, and we will give a top. No, you know what? I think we should give a non-spoiler discussion.
Okay, let me see if I can do that. Let me see if I can flex that muscle.
And the reason I say that is because I really want this movie to do well.
Yeah.
And for what it's worth, it did very well. First weekend, 90 million. It did 50 million over the projections. They thought it was only going to do 40 million for the first weekend. It did 30 million the first day.
Imagine what it would have done if this was no pandemic. We'd already be probably, close to $1 billion by now. That's how excellent this movie is.
I wouldn't say we'd be close to $1 billion by now. Here's the reason I say that. Well, because the one thing that I don't think they'll ever be able to duplicate is the rewatchability that Black Panther did. Because I'm not being funny, it wasn't white folks going to see that shit 7-8 times. It was black folks. I saw it in the theater 5 times myself.
Yeah.
And I bought the DVD. And you get what I'm saying? Like it.
They banned it in China. They're not gonna allow Shang Chi to be shown in China.
China is very weird about that.
Yeah, the government. Well,
did you ever see the stuff they inserted? No, go ahead.
The actor, he was born in Canada. He was talking about how his parents had said something, had told him about their upbringing and how tough it was when they were, coming up in China. And the Chinese government got wind of that, and that's why they're not going to show the movie. That's what I heard. So,
well, I'll say this: hopefully the Asian community in the U.S. will continue to support it. Hopefully, all communities will continue to support it because it's an amazing movie.
It's amazing, and I mean, as far as non-spoilery, look, the visuals.
Oh my God,
are spectacular. Like, I mean, I'm telling you, man, they really the action was just so crisp. You know what I mean? I'm a kung fu movie junkie. You know what I'm saying? All the way from the Saturday, everybody was kung fu fighting, like all that. I was into all of that, all the way up to more recently Warrior, which is a series on Cinemax. Excellent series that you guys should watch also, by the way. The fighting was it was crisp. They cared. The choreography was good. It was elements of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon in there, up to Rumble in the Bronx. You know what I'm saying, with Jackie Chan. You know what I mean? So like the fighting spectrum was across the board, just flowing and good. They had ninjas. You know what I mean? And that's not really a spoiler. I mean, it's a karate movie. Like, I mean, they had ninjas and stuff. It was beautiful, man. Like,
the visuals, the color sets used, particularly when it went to this one part of the movie, is the most beautiful I've seen.
Yeah. Around the third act. Yeah, man.
I haven't seen a color set that beautiful since Black Panther.
Honestly, yeah. Like it was, and then the uniqueness of the flora and fauna that were there. You know what I mean? Like it was breathtaking. Honestly, in the twist, you would never see it coming from how the movie started. The movie started in one way. It started out kind of like a movie about some friends just living their lives, trying to find themselves, and then it morphs into this whole other adventure. And I'm not gonna go into any more detail, but I just feel like that should be enough to tell you guys how great this movie is. You know what I mean? We talked about the visuals, we talked about the movie sets, we talked about the fighting, but also like there's some cameo appearances from from some characters in the Marvel universe that we have seen before.
Well, and that's not a spoiler. It's in the trailer. Abomination is in there for a brief moment, and so is Wong.
Right. And Abomination looks good. It looks really, really good. As far as an Abomination can look.
I'm wondering how that's going to play out going forward, especially when you talk about putting together the Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
If they're going to call them the Thunderbolts, the Dark Avengers, whatever case, you already have U.S. Agent. You got. Phil has not seen Black Widow yet. Fuck it. You got U.S. Agent. You got Yelena, and then the possibility of having Abomination. Bruh, that's gonna be a sick ass squad. Especially if you can get Thunderbolt to be Red Hulk. If they go through with that, this guy, bro. Listen. All I'm saying is, y'all go see the movie. Listen, it's not gonna be. It eventually will be on Disney Plus. I think it's like a 45-day, a 45-day embargo until it's on Disney Plus. I would say don't wait until that embargo. Man, go see the movie. Yeah, it's dope. If you're a Marvel fan, it's great for you. If you're a fan of martial art movies, it's great for you. If you're a fan of comedies, it's great for you. Like this movie legitimately has everything.
Like, I don't care what y'all say about Awkwafina, man. Like she acted her ass off in this movie, and she deserves like a lot of credit because she really played this role. And she receives a bigger a reward at the end for playing the role that she played. You know what I'm saying? So
let me say this much. I want to talk to my Black folks real quick. There's a lot of stuff out there that is cultural appropriation, no doubt,
and we do it.
Can't deny it. But Awkwafina was born and raised in the Bronx. And unless you've ever been to the Bronx, you would have no clue. Everybody in the Bronx talks like that. She's not trying to be black. She's not trying to be. Awkwafina has been a rapper for years. Awkwafina grew up. She grew up in one of the cradles of hip hop. This is not cultural appropriation. That's just how she grew up, bro. And anybody who's ever been to the Bronx would know that. Anybody who's ever been to Brooklyn would know that. It's not. Everything is not cultural appropriation. It's just not, man. Sometimes that is legitimately that person.
It's a difference in between appropriation and respect, and you know what I mean. Actual skin in the game. I shouldn't say she has skin in the game as far as that culture is concerned, but I mean, if she was raised, around people, it's just like dog. I'll just say it.
I think it's more.
Our last guest from last week, Bao Fam, Asian brother, grew up on one of the blackest streets in this city. You know what I'm saying? He's from the same side of town as I am. You know what I mean? If you heard him talk on the phone, you would never know that he was Asian. You know what I'm saying? But he's not appropriating. That's just how he. That's just
how he is.
That's how he is, and that's just how he talks.
I will go even further to say that legitimately, folks, as I saw some of the responses on Twitter, folks need to check themselves. If you're expecting every Asian person that you see to have a thick Asian accent, then you might want to check your mindset.
You racist.
That's like saying, that everybody black gonna sound like they coming out the hood. You can't make people one-dimensional based on your limited thought processes. So that's all I'm gonna say on that. So we gotta GOHOT, man. I go on and introduce the GOHOT.
Man, I'm telling you. So today, I mean, in the spirit of celebrating the Shang Chi and the Marvel's What If, our GOHOT today is gonna be based on some of our beloved Avengers characters. So today, everybody has the battle of oh man, would Cap beat Black Panther, or would what I'm saying, would Doctor Strange be able to tangle with Wanda and all that stuff? Like with the Hulk, Would the Hulk beat Thanos? Well, we seen the answer to that.
They said he got his ass washed.
that boy got washed, and then he got anyway.
I
But
bet he
the
wouldn't
GOHOT
beat
today,
Worldbreaker Hulk.
yeah. Well, no, he wouldn't beat Worldbreaker. No, Worldbreaker Hulk. If you guys don't know, go check out Planet Hulk. If you don't have Disney Plus and you're a Marvel fan, what are you doing? Get Disney Plus. Get Disney Plus, please. If you get it for a month, you can watch all these movies in order, and not just the movies, the animated movies. I'm talking about the what ifs. All this that we're talking about in the MCU is available except Spider-Man because of Sony. But other than that, all the MCU material is in it. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, the GOHOT today. I'm just gonna. We might be able to make this a series because we have so many Avengers to choose from. You know, and the GOHOT is, if it don't go hot, it goes home. You know, if they don't go hot, they go home. In the case of these Avengers, so today we'll just start off light. We'll bring in Doctor Strange, who is, sorcerer supreme of the mystic arts. You know what I'm saying? Very strong character. Very strong character. Versus Captain America. You know what I'm saying? Everybody loves Chris Evans. So that's the Captain America we're talking about. I'm not talking about our new Captain America. If y'all don't know, if you don't know, get Disney Plus. I don't know what to tell you. And also Black Panther, who is beloved character as well, and Iron Man, who basically kicked off the MCU. So, Nicholas, which one of our characters go hot, and which one is going to have to go home? This is kind of a tough one here. Because we love all these characters. But what's your take, brother? You are and Nick is a comic book aficionado so he'll be bringing in some comic knowledge as well as MCU.
Well, see, that's what I was just about to ask. Are we talking about the MCU versions, or are we talking about Marvel overall?
For the sake of our show, I feel like we should go with the MCU versions because that's more commercially known, but it's also related. You can bring in some of the lore if you want to, to tie things together.
So, okay. Well, that makes it really easy. The first person who has to stay is Iron Man. You don't have the Avengers initiative without the first central character would be Captain Marvel, based on the MCU. Yes, you can make the argument for Cap, but Iron Man is what really set off putting the team together via Nick Fury. So Iron Man has to stay. The second person that has to stay is Black Panther. If you don't have Black Panther, then you do not have the nanotech that Iron Man used from Infinity War onward. And that really is setting the tone, especially when you got Black Panther 2, where Riri Williams is confirmed to be in there, so you're gonna have Ironheart. You don't have the Iron Spider-Man suit. You don't have any of that nanotech without Wakanda. That was confirmed with the Wakanda files that Tony Stark got the technology for the nanotech Iron Man suit from Shuri, which further cements Shuri as the biggest genius in the MCU. So Iron Man stays first. Black Panther stays second. Now, you're talking about Captain America and you're talking about Doctor Strange. Let me give you the case.
That's hard right there.
Not hard at all. Let me give you the case where both of them got to stay. And let me give you the case where both of them got to go. From a movie standpoint, the Captain America trilogy is the most consistent of the three. Consistently good trilogy. All the trilogies that we've had, it's been good from jump all the way through. It was an argument to say that of the top 10 Marvel movies, all three Captain America movies are in there. Chris Evans was amazing as Captain America. It also gave us a spinoff of Falcon and Winter Soldier, which now we know that Sam Wilson is the new Captain America. Yeah, I'm spoiling it for you, shipping out for months. You have to go pay the damn money and watch it.
Get Disney Plus.
So the argument could be said there. It could also be stated that he's one of legitimately possibly 3 people in the entire MCU that's actually worthy of Mjolnir, which says a lot for his character and his leadership ability within the Avengers. Now, you look at Strange. Strange is the Sorcerer Supreme. He is the first person to really tackle a multiverse. If you didn't have Doctor Strange, Dormammu would have taken over our realm. And was also, for the time, the guardian of the Time Stone. Most powerful sorcerer next to Wanda Maximoff in the MCU. And he is actually the future of where we go and how the multiverse is managed going into the next phases of Marvel.
He got to be there.
Here's the reason why I say one stays over the other. What do you consider inconsequential if they're not there? Doctor Strange not being there and Marvel's What If took that. It was an absolute point that his girlfriend had to die in order for him to train to become Doctor Strange. Mm-hmm. You don't have Doctor Strange, you don't have the strategy to beat Thanos, which means the snap stays in place and half the universe is gone. If you do not have Cap, because here's the reality. In terms of the direct fight with Thanos, Cap put up about the same amount of effort. As a matter of fact, once Mjolnir was gone, you notice Thanos and Cap didn't even tangle anymore up until the time that Thanos was snapped away. He fought Wanda, who almost bodied him if he had rained fire on everybody. He fought Captain Marvel, who took that headbutt like it was nobody, was whipping his ass until he took the Power Stone and punched her with it.
Right.
And then you had Stark, who ended up sneaking the stones away from him, snapping and bringing and sending them out. Cap wasn't even a factor. Then you go back to the fact that Cap goes back in time, lives his complete life with all the knowledge of what's going to happen. and up until now, we don't know, did not interfere, so was completely inconsequential. That is enough for me to say, Cap, you got to go. Doctor Strange is too important, particularly when you got to deal with Kang the Conqueror and Wanda Maximoff. An overpowered, pissed off Wanda Maximoff looking for her kids. Yeah. Strange got to stay. Cap, go home.
Gotta go. I cannot follow up or argue with that. I have the same one. You know what I'm saying? Like, now, well, you know what? I tell you what. I'm going to go from a enjoyment standpoint. I'm not even going to go by you know, the movie and the consequential standpoint of it. Now, for me, the first one that has to stay is Black Panther because, I mean, look, this is our first, like, I mean, we had Blade, right? We had Blade. We had, if you really want to consider, people call this guy a joke, but I respect him. We had Meteor Man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had those movies. Now, Nick,
we had Blank Man too.
Blank Man was not
a real me hero. Around and call me Susan.
we had Meteor Man, but Black Panther was the first like big budget movie, you know, hero that we got because Blade was kind of more of an anti-hero. You know what I'm saying? So Black Panther, like a king of another country, you know what I'm saying? Like we deserve this and we needed this for the culture. So that was a beautiful thing. So Black Panther has to stay for that. Now, second person that's got to stay, my man, Pots and Pans, Iron Man, because Robert Downey Jr. Bruh, Robert Downey Jr. is the best Iron Man to date. You know what I mean? Not that we had a lot of other real examples outside of the animated versions, but I'm telling you, he was so engaging, such a great, you know, character actor. You know, also the amount of tech and the amount of, you know, just, I believe a lot of movies are copying what they did in the first Iron Man. Like when he had the screens up and he was just, you know, typing things in the air. They're really, you know, we're probably going to have that in real life in a few years where we're going to be able to do, you know, things just of that nature. So for that reason, those two reasons, Iron Man has to stay. Plus, like, he's basically the Jesus of the MCU. You know what I'm saying? Because the man sacrificed himself. Uh, in the Avengers movie, he sacrificed himself. In the end, he still sacrificed himself. So you cannot, discount that. So he got to stay. So for my third person that's got to stay, um, and like I said, this is based strictly off of entertainment factor. Um, we got Doctor Strange and Cap. Now I'm a fan of the mystic arts. I'm a fan of Doctor Strange, and I'm a big fan of you know Captain America. Chris Evans, in particular, this iteration is Chris Evans. Um, well, but also I have to say that like Cap was the first movie. I did not like it. Okay, it was a little bit boring. Now it was important. We have to have the origin story. It was a kind of a typical origin story, but it was also integral to let us know how Shield started, and you know what I mean. It set up you wouldn't have known how to proceed forward with the Winter Soldier and Civil War if the first Avenger had not been a movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we had to know where everything came from. It was a good setup movie, but it was a little bit boring to me. Um, but Chris Evans, phenomenal character, phenomenal actor. You know what I mean? Great action sequence. The man held a helicopter with his arm. Okay, he pulled a helicopter with his arm. When you talk about impossible white man movies, shout out to Rodden Karen for coining that term. Uh, you don't get much better than Chris Evans' version of Captain America. So, okay, on the other hand, Doctor Strange, I said the Mystic Arts was very important. The man, came from, just being a surgeon. He was a great surgeon, but also he turned into the Sorcerer Supreme, who was integral to the MCU. Uh, I tell you what, I, I don't have nothing else for it. I got to go with Cap, man. Cap, Cap, got to stay. My man, Doctor Strange, you got to go. I know I stopped abruptly, but I just kind of ran out of steam there. So, Doctor Strange, you got to go, man.
I mean, I'm flabbergasted.
Doctor Strange, you got to go. I mean, strictly because you know your movie was cool. I like the buildings flipping in and out, and all that stuff, man. It was dope. But you got to go, man. You're a little bit of a dry character. Who is that? Benedict Cumberbatch.
Mm-hmm.
Is that who that is? A little bit dry, a little bit of a dry person. Now maybe if maybe if Ant Man was here, you might have been able to survive. But I wasn't a particular fan of the Doctor Strange movie standalone. But we'll see what happens when the next one happens.
Ladies and
But for
gentlemen,
right now, you gotta go.
let's keep a mark on this. I want to revisit this
I
after Spider-Man: No
understand.
Way Home and Doctor Strange 2 and the Multiverse of Madness comes out.
But yo, I
I want to
understand.
revisit it.
I understand how important that he is.
I'm
I'm
not talking
just
about the
talking about
important.
from
I'm
an
talking about
entertainment standpoint and acting.
because think about it. He's been this integral, and he's only had one movie. So,
He was also a major, huge part of Infinity War and Endgame. You know what I mean? Like,
he came in at the tail end of the end game, brother.
yeah, he came in at the tail end of Endgame, but like, I mean, okay, well, I mean Infinity War. He was a major part of Infinity War. You know what I'm saying? So you can't discount him.
I understand. Listen, I get it. Like I said, let's just revisit it in the next few months.
Yeah.
So,
We'll
one
see.
up, one down. Felt five. What you got up this week, brother?
Hey man, I'm gonna keep watching these what ifs. And I'm gonna probably rewatch the what ifs. And I'm going to watch the Black Widow movie this week. I'm gonna do it. Nick doesn't believe me. I'm going to pull out my wallet and pay the $30 and pay for the movie. I don't know. I was just going through a weird time, and I've always gone to see every Marvel movie in the movie theater, and it felt weird that I couldn't do that this time. But now I figured out how I'm going to do it, with Shang Chi. Shout out to Shang Chi for that. So that's gonna be my plan, man. What you got up for the week, brother?
Oh man, I'm still right in the midst of my Q4 30-day challenge. I got a new episode of Morning Cup of Merch dropping this week, a new episode of Rate Merch, dropping daily content on Instagram at this point. So just getting, we're almost there, man. We're 19 days away from Q4, so I'm
19 days away.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to get this money, brother.
Also getting started with my business venture as of next week. Not this week, not this week here, but next week.
Big leap, and I'm proud of you.
I'm making that leap, man. Yeah,
I'm
man.
so proud of you, brother.
I appreciate it, brother. I'm proud of you as well, man. Doing this Q4 challenge, and you're sticking to it. You know what I mean? That's a beautiful thing. Keep that up. These visuals that he's been producing have been amazing. If you haven't seen them, like these he's killing the game with the TikTok videos and the Instagram promo. Like, bro, like you out of here, man. You out of here, man. For real. I love it.
Yeah. I appreciate it. Folks, we appreciate you, man. Don't forget Instagram at the Zoommates, personal pages at Fel5, at Nick Eden, YouTube, the Zoommates Podcast, and the audio version at anchor.fm/Zoommates. We appreciate every single person who listens to the show week after week. We appreciate the folks who go back and listen again. We thank you for allowing us to be us. In a lot of circumstances, some of the things that we say do come off the rail sometime, but you know what? We're just as real as we can possibly be in the situation. So, with respect to everybody, we just want to say, please like, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, share the show. Share the show. Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Please.
Share the show. We appreciate it. And we will see you all same time next week. Take care.
Peace.